One of the most difficult concepts to get across language barriers is the concept of comedy, because so much of humor is based off of context and presentation, two things that are easily lost in translation. Now, as I've come to understand Japanese sensibilities when it comes to comedy, the Japanese find many things funny, but none more than these two subjects. Puns, which don't translate at all into English, and sex, where context might as well not exist at all.
I'm not going to pretend I have any kind of insight into why the Japanese find sex jokes and perverts to be hysterical, but I have to say that more often than not, the joke is just kind of lost on American ears. Well, maybe not so much lost as it is misinterpreted. Ever wonder why in anime, whenever a male character sees an attractive girl to get a nosebleed? Well, it's based off an old wives' tale that men who have no sexual outlet will overflow with blood at the nose whenever they see the body of a naked woman, or something like that. So every time you see that, it's a callback to that folk tale, which is the joke? You see why context is so important?
Which is why Junk Boy here baffles me. This is so obviously a comedy, but it's not funny in the way it's meant to be. It's funny because it's horrendous.
This is easily the most obscure anime I've ever covered on this show. Yeah, Sovereign of the Damned was pretty out there on the fringes of consciousness, but at least that had a Wikipedia section, and hell, you can find the whole thing on YouTube. Junk Boy here has no mention on Wikipedia or IMDb, and the only videos I can find of this on YouTube are some random clips of a fan sub.
It's like I stumbled upon the anime that time forgot, and for good reason. True story here, by the way. I got this tape in mint condition, plastic over the tape and everything, for 2 cents at my local comic shop. I may as well have paid the guy 2 cents to punch me in the face.
Alright, this has to be a record of some sort, but in the very first 30 seconds, we see a random woman stripped butt naked in front of our...
I'm sorry, I can't, in good faith, call this guy our hero. Neither can I call this guy our protagonist, because that still sounds too positive.
I've seen characters like Boner here before, but not to this extreme. As single-minded and horn-doggish Kintaro from Golden Boy was, at least he had other defining characteristics. He was positive, he was willing to learn, he was brave when he needed to be, and he worked hard. Boner here, on the other hand, well, I'm just gonna let him explain it.
I admit it! I think about sex a lot! In fact, all the time!
Yes, that's pretty obvious to us.
Huh? Oh, that! Well, yeah, well, that's a pointer to what I'm thinking about. Foreign and home affairs, I think.
Yeah, that's Eddie the Meowth guy from Mad Bull 34. Apparently, Manga Entertainment only hired 4 different voice actors.
Boner takes the pervert character archetype and just goes apeshit with it. I mean, even the jerky midget from Wicked City showed some kind of dimension at its confusing end, but Boner started as a sex-craved maniac, and he stayed a sex-craved maniac. This guy would fuck anything. Blondes, brunettes, his couch, a jelly sandwich, fire, bags of crap apples with his own face drawn on them, Colonel Sanders statues.
You haven't got a hope in hell.
You thought I was kidding, didn't you?
Seriously, he fucked a hole into the statue. As much as I've ragged on Boner here, I'm just getting started. But if I don't get onto the plot, we'll be talking about this jack-off forever. It seems our guy that the plot centers around is trying to get a job at an adult magazine called Potato Boy, which apparently is so powerful they can skirt by Japanese indecency laws and advertise topless women on posters and billboards. They must be hiring a new editor because the one they already have can't even spell potato right.
Actually, I'm not sure if this is just English seeping its way into the animation, or if this is some kind of subtle jab at Dan Quayle who thought that potato was spelled with an E. Nah, it's gotta be incompetency.
Boner's interview seems to go perfectly well. Oh, I don't mean that he's got the job in the bag. No one in their right mind would let this delusional spaz get within 50 feet of the building. No, I mean that he finally got a woman, in this case the all-business chief editor, to touch his naughty bits.
Just doing a little controlled experiment to make sure the qualifications you've shown us are genuine.
Okay, despite his perversion, I'm sure that he'll do the right thing and file a sexual harassment suit with Human Resources, and I can't even finish that fucking sentence.
The job we've got to fill requires stamina.
Huh? Hey, I've never had any complaints about stamina up to now. Ha 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 ha. But don't take my word for it. Try me out. Let me give you a demonstration. Don't trust me. Don't trust me. I'm probably lying. Make me prove it to you.
There's just so much wrong here. I don't even know where to start.
I mean, the dick grab, the babbling nonsense, the slap across the face, and most galling of all, it all leads up to Boner getting a job as, well, a boner barometer. A bonerometer, if you will.
Right, so this'll be your first job. If we get a positive crotch reaction, then we'll print the photo. Nothing, and it'll get spiked.
Hey! Who's working here, him or me?
Go right through the catalog.
The whole thing?
Christ, isn't this Swab's kind of show? Why the fuck isn't he reviewing this turd pile?
It's not long before Boner is led away from his first gig and is sent with a photographer to act as assistant during a steamy photo shoot. Actually, it seems that the shoot isn't as steamy as they were hoping, and the model is copping an attitude, which causes Boner to speak out.
I was a fan of yours, and you drove me crazy when you sang. Not just me, all the guys on the block. And now that we've met, I have to say you're a pretty big disappointment. I was a kid just starting to shave, and I was real scared I'd grow hair on the palm of my right hand.
Okay. We're about to hit the point where Boner stops being annoyingly perverted and rams smack into being teeth grindingly hateful. It was bad before, but now...
I put your pictures all over the wall because I could never spare a hand to turn the fanzine pages. You probably stopped me turning into a rapist or something.
Is he really saying that the only reason why he's not a rapist was because he grew up jerking off to her when she sang? That is something he should have kept to himself.
Not only does this statement paint him out to be morally repugnant, it also makes him kind of a liar. Earlier, when he first got his job, he forces himself on this woman behind the desk for no plot-related reason whatsoever. You could argue that because this is a comedy, it was supposed to be a funny scene, but then you have to ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. Why is Boner molesting a woman funny? I mean, they weren't wearing clown shoes when it happened, and nary a single person slipped on a banana peel.
I know I've made my lion's share of off-color sex jokes, but there's a world of difference between me saying, well, that was before you had a robo-dick to fuck me senseless with, and me actually showing you a woman actually being fucked senseless with a robo-dick.
Oh, and by the way, you'd think that a singer who was just told by one of her former fans that the main reason why he was a fan was because he masturbated to her would probably make her, if not anything, uncomfortable. But no, she takes it rather endearingly, and winds up making out with him. Again, is this supposed to be funny? Because all it's doing is confusing the fuck out of my erection.
I'll be honest, the first half of the OVA really doesn't have a narrative structure. Really, it's just a series of scenes played up for cheap yucks that usually revolve around Boner's... boner.
I've pooped. However, it could be worse. Okay, I've got my energy back. Ready when you are, boss.
Good God, what does he feed that thing? If I were him, I'd avoid escalators.
Well, I didn't call him Boner for nothing, as his next assignment is to do a written piece on soaplands. I'm sure he'll treat this with the same amount of professionalism as the amount of sarcasm in this sentence.
Icebergs! Stop it! You'll drown! Oh! Oh!
But it turns out that not only does his article wind up sucking on toast, but the woman he had intimates with was an undercover reporter who was writing her own Soapland article. And to add insult to insult, her article is about how unsatisfying and wimpy Boner is in bed.
It must have been a pretty sordid assignment.
It was okay for most of the time. Then this wimp turned up and showed me how pathetic the men who come to Soaplands can really be.
Oh, come on. Isn't that a little heinous and mean-spirited of you? Oh, wait, I forgot who you were talking about.
Does she want to celebrate my arrival with some personal attention? It's pretty obvious she expects big things from me, and what I'm bringing won't disappoint her.
In here, please.
Yes, sir!
Yeah, that limp dick motherfucker couldn't fuck Jello.
You snot-nosed kids seem to think women are all dying for that appendage you're so proud of having.
Huh?
The bigger, the better. A little more feeling and a bit less mechanics might help. You bored me, you know that?
It looks like Boner's self-confidence is at its nadir, and only the kind and helpfully weird words of some nameless assistant is able to help.
Hey, you mustn't get yourself depressed just because everybody's laughing at what a fool you made of yourself. You just pick yourself up and carry on with a smile. Now you keep your pecker up, okay?
Oh, God, that was an awkward line. You couldn't make that more unnatural if... I said you couldn't make that more unnatural if... Okay, who the fuck is this now? Fucking show yourself!
It's me, godless heathen!
Floating Vic Mignogna's head. Is it possible that this show could jump the shark?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know why you thought that line was unnatural and awkward. It's because I wasn't voicing her.
Floating Vic Mignogna's head... Vic head... What the fuck are you talking about?
I can voice any character, from 12-year-old boys to 13-year-old boys. I'm a natural. Here, allow the maestro to demonstrate. Hey, you mustn't get yourself depressed just because everybody's laughing at what a fool you made of yourself. You just pick yourself up and carry on with a smile. Now you keep your pecker up, okay? You see? Instant classic. God, I'm talented.
I don't know, it sounded a little forced to me, and maybe just a little wooden, and really lacking any significant range.
Who the fuck asked you? Who do you think you are trying to tell me that I'm wooden? I'm as natural as dog shit. My delivery is unique and goddamn untouchable. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. See? You can't do that. Shut up. Don't even try. I'm Vic fucking Mignogna, and I am a destroyer of worlds. I am a beautiful animal. What are you doing? I'm Vic fucking... I'm Vic Mignogna! Thirteen-year-old boys.
Yeah, that was a weird line.
Well, you can't keep a good Boner down as he creepily resolves to fuck her right. So for the next few minutes, we just follow Boner as he creepily pursues the reporter to try and convince her to give him another chance.
Wait, did I say convince her? I meant force her.
So I may not be Casanova, but I'm proud of myself in bed. Or I was till you told me you thought I was boring. I gotta prove it to you and the others that I'm not. Look, you were working, so I wouldn't have expected you to have any fun yourself. But now you're off duty, I'll force you to have fun.
Wow, what woman can resist? Hey, Dickhole, remember that speech you made at the beginning about how jerking off as a kid kept you from being a rapist? 'Cause you're being kind of rapey right now.
Boner appears to wear the reporter down after stalking and following her for God knows how long, and she freely admits her own frustrations in bed, including never having an orgasm. Why then was she giving advice on how to fuck when she wouldn't know better is beyond me.
I don't get it. A girl as exciting as she is? Well, I'm gonna do something about it. You hear what I say? Aki, I'm gonna make you orgasmic in spades!
Okay, I'll admit, that was pretty funny.
Boner decides to pull out all the stops and takes the reporter out on a romantic nighttime bicycle ride. On the fucking freeway! And for some reason, this doesn't seem to bother anyone who's driving along with them, and after nearly crashing head-on into another vehicle, they make a random stop to talk to some transvestite hookers. For no reason!
And here's the kicker. The reporter is warming up to Boner.
Nearly being killed on the freeway and being introduced to some transvestite hookers? This is the man of my dreams. So after stealing a dress from a boutique's window, they stop to have a romantic candlelit dinner on a rooftop. Yep, every cliche in the book is thrown at us, and the reporter falls for all of it.
Look at the stars. Ah!
Your eyes are about twice as bright as any of them.
You're romantic, really.
Well, tonight, anyway. Probably because I'm with you.
Hey, whatever happened to the lady who thought this guy was a pencil-dick chump? I liked her.
So, like a schmuck, she falls for the cheesy romantic date, and the two have that kind of softcore love scene that you could probably see right now if you turn on Cinemax. Of course, the OVA ruins the mood by immediately following that scene with this completely out-of-nowhere non-sequitur.
When you're falling without a parachute, potato gold gives your rocket instant recharge and keeps you going high.
Good to know product placement?
We cut to an absolutely necessary shower scene with the editor, complete with cheesy bassline accompaniment. Of course, no one can enjoy a shower scene in these sort of flicks, as the editor is interrupted by Boner, who has written an article for the magazine about listening to your lover's needs, and then sneaks off to rifle through her panties. We end on the editor tossing Boner's ass out of her window, where I'd like to think he plummeted to his death. Well, he doesn't, but I'd like to think he did.
This show may be the most annoying, most obnoxious turd of an anime I've ever screened here on this show. There is not an ounce of restraint to be had in this stupid, wretched excuse for animation. Ugh. But we're going to push on full steam ahead. And we're going to look at a show that is not only genuinely funny, but also genuinely insane.
You can't destroy me.
Till next time.